shall not be moved, that's why we're standing in the streets this Hanukkah. We shall not be moved.
You can see all this area full of tear gas because of these weapons that they use.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to The Struggle. The Struggle is shown on over 30 cable stations from Vermont to New York City, on the internet at thestruggle.org. Our YouTube channel, Struggle Video Media. We begin with a political Hanukkah, a public ceremony against Islamophobia and hatred of Palestinians. It was organized by Jewish Voice for Peace in New Haven. Then we'll hear from a major Palestinian activist, Iyad Burnat.
Lightning, we shall not be moved, that's why we're standing in the streets this Hanukkah. We shall not be moved. There is so much hate crime, we shall not be moved. It's stand up for your neighbor time, we shall not be moved. That's why we're standing here in the streets in Hanukkah. We shall not be moved. They say black lives don't matter, we shall not be moved. Our support they cannot shatter, we shall not be moved. That's why we're standing in the streets this Hanukkah. We shall not be moved.
But we have a poem that was written, intended to be a new prayer for the lights of Hanukkah. And it says, "We light these lights for the instigators and the refusers, the obstinate and unyielding, for the ones who kept marching, the ones who would not bow down. We light these lights for the sparks that guided us on through the gentle night, for the darkness that swaddled us, its soft embrace until the moment we inevitably emerged into life renewed. We light these lights for the spirit of resilience that remains after our strength has ebbed away, for the steadfast knowledge, even as the bullets echo repeatedly off bodies lying in the streets, that the impunity of the powerful cannot and will not last forever.
It could be you as it was in days long ago. Think what you do, for it could be you as it was in days long ago."
A short announcement here. An important program on Syria on Saturday, January 7th at 2 p.m. in Old Lyme, Connecticut, called Syria, We Want Action. It's a chance to hear Syrians speak about Syria. Featured speaker is Professor Yasser Munaf and Connecticut psychiatrist Amar Trabulsi. Live music also, free and open to the public at the First Congregational Church of Old Lyme. Most of our program will be the first part of a talk given by a Palestinian hero named Iyad Burnat. He's from the West Bank village of Bil'in near Ramallah, and he's a leader of the popular resistance in his town to land theft and the apartheid wall. He's been going out with others week after week for more than 10 years, and he and his family members have paid a heavy price for this. He's often hurt, and others in his family have been wounded. As Secretary of State speaks about the two-state solution, we start with Burnat's remarks explaining how this idea is not a possibility.
But the Israelis, the Zionist occupation, they never follow any agreement. They continue to build more and more settlements inside of West Bank area, that it's become like containers. There is no contact between the Palestinian cities itself. There no contact between the villages and the cities in where is Palestine now. So it's mean that they kill the two-state solution. There is no more talking about this two states. When you find 250 settlements that inside of West Bank, 700,000 settlers move in this time to this land, that means there is no more two states. And we will talk about this, and we take my village as example, and this shows the settlements in West Bank area, how much settlements, and it's, you know, it's very hard to move from place to place. For example, Jerusalem is 25 kilometers from us. We cannot go there. I never been there. If you want to go from Ramallah to Jenin, it takes all the day because of settlements, checkpoints. It's not just a settlement. You have 400 checkpoints inside of West Bank between the Palestinian cities and villages, the roads of the settlers, the settlements, all these that block the roads for the Palestinians to move from place to place. So this is the settlement where they been a new settlement. It's called Mityahu Mizrah. That's the Mityahu Mizrah in Hebrew, Mityahu East. That's they build it, a new one. They build it on the land of the village. So at the same time that they start to build the wall, they started to build these settlements. So here is Bil'in, and its example of the non-violent resistance. We have this in many villages before Bil'in and after Bil'in. We have now about 15 to 20 places that's doing the weekly demonstration like Bil'in, especially our succeed in Bil'in by the non-violent way. So Bil'in is a small village. 2,000 people live in Bil'in. The land of the village is 4,000 dunums. They confiscated 2,300 dunums from the land of the village. It's about 59–60% from the land of the village. Most of the people is farmers in the village, and when we talk about Bil'in, it's same as other villages around the wall, because most of the people in this area is farmers, that they used to have the olive trees, and there is economy, and there is life. When they started to build the wall and the settlements, they destroyed 1,000 olive trees from the farmland of the people. So it means that many farmers was selling the olive oil, now they have to buy it. So the wall is affected the farmers, the villagers in this small village and other villages. And also when you talk about the wall, when they started to build the wall, the propaganda was saying that it's for security. This wall is for security. So if it's for security, why you didn't build it in the border? 1967 border, for example. We are against the walls. We didn't want to see walls. We want to see bridges. If you want to talk about peace, you didn't have to build walls. But why they didn't build it in the border where is the green line? What about the settlements inside of West Bank? They didn't need security. So this was just a lying and a propaganda. The wall came to confiscate more land, to build more settlements. When you talk about 22% from the Palestinian historic land that left for the Palestinians, by building the wall, they confiscated another 10% from the 20%. So it's what's left for the Palestinian is like jails and cantonments. The wall, the main goal of the wall, to make the life hard for the Palestinians, to move from their land, from their villages, from their cities outside. Because as a farmer, when he lost his olive trees as a job, when he's lost his water, because where's the wall came already, it came where's a big aquifer of the water for the Palestinians, as we have a rich water in this land. They're stealing this water and they give it to the settlements. They sell us a little bit from this water. So in summertime, you don't have the water in 1 week or 2 weeks. And when you go there, you feel that the settlement is green, swimming pools, 24 hours, the water. In the Palestinian town, you can see it's brown. It's the roofs of the houses is full of tanks to collect the water. It's our water. They're stealing this water and they give it to the settlement. So this in general, what's the goals of the war? And the main one, as I said, to make the life hard for the Palestinians and to confiscate more land, to build more settlements. So if we talk about Oslo, for example, from that time until now, how many settlements been built in the time of the negotiation, the time of the peace issue? So they never follow any agreement. They continue to build more and more settlements. So here, if you look to this map, the wall came like a snake, is to take more land from the Palestinian farmland. We have the green line. Between the green line and the red line, we have in Bil'in just 7 kilometers. Sometimes in Qalqilia, in Nablus area, the wall become inside of the West Bank about 20 kilometers. So the goal is not for security. What they said is to take more land from the Palestinian farmland. In Bil'in, they started to build the wall in December 2004. As everybody in Bil'in refused that, as farmers, everybody, we started our resistance. December 2004, everybody from the village went outside to try to stop these bulldozers to destroy these olive trees, because olive trees also is our culture, is the life of the farmer. When you talk about olive tree, 3,000 year old, as a farmer to see his olive tree, he was harvested with his father, with his grandfather, with all his family. A bulldozer destroyed it. It's mean for him that you kill his son. So it was very hard for the farmers in Bil'in to accept that. We start our resistance. It was every day the demonstrations in that time. Until February 2005, we organized ourselves, we built the committee, and we decided to have the demonstrations every week. So since that time until now, we have a weekly demonstration. We have internationally from all of the world, they join us in these demonstrations every week. We have Israeli activists also every week that's coming and participate with us in this demonstration. We use the non-violent way in our struggle. We put ourselves in cages and barrels and cylinders. We tie ourselves in the olive trees. We're fighting by our bodies. Every week we have a new idea to send the message outside to many people in the world that this is not a security war, what the Israelis said. The goal is they didn't want us on this land. They want to move us outside of Palestine to build what they called it now a Jewish state. And they're doing this year after year. You see Palestine is more smaller. So these are the olive trees that's been destroyed also. It's more than 3,000 years. We called it a Romani olive trees as the Palestinians. We use every week a new idea in our demonstration, in our non-violent resistance to show the wall as, for example, we had a big snake. That's to show the wall as a snake to confiscate more land from the Palestinian farm. Every week we have a new idea to use. We follow the news, we follow the stories, the similar stories around the world. The famous movies like Avatar movie, that's we make our people look like Avatar people and they lead us in the demonstration. As Avatar is a similar story of the Palestinian story. In the first night, it's get about 3 million people saw the YouTube. So it was, to educate more people and to send the message, you have to do these ideas in your struggle. Because we know that this is part of fighting against the media. The media, the Western media, they didn't show what's happened in Palestine. They didn't show the Palestinians' life under the occupation. They didn't show that the Israelis never stopped building settlements. We never heard in the United States they talking about in the news. I mean, they didn't talking about the life of the Palestinians under the occupation. So we try our best. We try many ways to spread the message around the world, especially when we have 5 working cameras nominated to Oscar as the first Palestinian movie. It's taken in Bil'in by my brother Iyad Burnat. It's get a lot of attention, and this movie talks about the real life in the ground, how a child grow with this violence from the Israeli army that using against us every day. How is a farmer lost his land, and when he tried to protect his olive tree, they arrested him for 18 months. A simple man, when he was joined the non-violent demonstration, a peaceful man, they shot him and they killed him. So this is the story that came from 5 broken cameras. It's get a lot of attention. Many people saw the movie around the world, and it was many people visiting Bil'in after that. So this woman's part of our resistance also. She's my wife. And she tried to protect the children, and the soldiers was shooting to them the weapons that they use it against us every week. As I said, we have a lot of international that came by to participate in the demonstrations or by groups to know more information from the ground. So we have many groups that came from Europe, from the United States, from England. Every day, every week, we have groups that's coming to know more, to have more information from the ground. And each one who's coming to Bil'in, to Palestine, he's become our messenger. Because when you come and you see by your own eyes what's going on in the ground, you become our messenger. You see the truth from the ground. When Desmond Tutu came to Bil'in, he said that it's worse than the apartheid in South Africa. When Jimmy Carter came to Bil'in, he said it's apartheid country, and it's apartheid wall, illegal settlements. When he came back here to the United States, the Zionists attacked him. It was in 2009 in the media. We have many famous people who's coming to visit Bil'in, people who have Nobel Peace Prize, like Louisa Margantino, and she's injured in the demonstration. They shot her. Like Marianne Maguire from Ireland, they deported her for 10 years. Many members from the European Parliament, from British Parliament also, that's visiting us in Bil'in. Many groups around the world that's coming to see the truth. It's a growth, and many people start to know about the situation in Palestine after this non-violent resistance. But on the other side, we have a lot of violence that came from the Israeli occupation forces to try to break us. They know exactly that this way is show the face of the violence. By this way, we can reach many people in the world. They didn't like it. They didn't like the international to come to participate with us. We have hundreds of international being deported from the airport. Many of them being injured in the demonstration. Like our friend Tristan Anderson from California, that they shot him by the black rocket here. And this is the danger one that they use it in the demonstrations, direct to his head, because he was taking photos in the demonstration. They didn't like cameras in this demonstration because they didn't want the people to see what's happened there. They broken many cameras for the international people. Emily from United States, she lost her eye because of the rubber coat steel bullet that they use it against us in these demonstrations. So these weapons that they use it against us, it's illegal to use it by the international law. They use it as a test on our people. When we talk about this, we are sure, because we search about these weapons that they use it against us. These black rockets, the American army was using it to broken windows when they want to attack some place. They have to use it in 500 meters in the sky. The Israeli army use it direct to the people in 20 meters or 15 meters, in 1 meter sometimes. When they shot our friend Mustafa Tamimi from Nabi Saleh, they shot him in 1 meter, direct to his face. It's broken all his face and he's died in the place. When they shot our friend Basim Abu Rahma, it's make a big hole in his chest. He's died in the place. So it's not a tear gas and rubber bullet. It's illegal weapons that they use it against us, and many kinds of weapons. 022, you heard about this because it's made in the United States, and most of these weapons is made in the United States. The 022 that they use it, it's illegal to use it against civilians. When they made it to use it against animals. And this is like live bullet, aluminium, small. It doesn't broke the bones. It's enter the bones and make a hole. They use it by snipers. And the idea to use this weapons is to make many people didn't participate in the demonstration. Because when they shoot one, he cannot walk for 3 or 4 months by this kind of weapons. They use the salt bullets, the sponge bullets, so many kinds of weapons that we deal in these demonstrations by this army. This is machines of tear gas, and it's like rain of tear gas. They use it also. It's like machines, they put it on the jeep and they can throw 210 tear gas in 1 minute in the same time. So you can see all the area full of tear gas. You said that, Ian?
Many times.
So this is most of these weapons made in the United States, especially in Pennsylvania. The strong one, that's the big one, it's made in Pennsylvania. It's very strong tear gas. They use it by guns and by hands, throw it also to the houses sometimes. It's very strong, it's a good quality that's made in the United States. This is also, may you know about this, and I don't like these weapons, but what we can do, we have to face it. So this is a chemical things that they collect it together, it's make a very bad smell. We call it skunk water. It's very bad. It's very dangerous for the trees, for the land also, because it's a chemical thing. They spray the people by this in the demonstrations. If you get some of this water in your body, in your clothes, in your hair, you will lose your friends and family. You get this after 1 or 2 weeks from the smell from your body. If you wash yourself many times, they told us to use tomato to take it out. They use Sprite or many things, but it doesn't work. And you have to throw your clothes because you cannot be with people with this. So it's, yes, it's very bad water that they use it against us. It's like they use us like animals. This is the gas that they throw it by machines. You can see all this area full of tear gas because of these weapons that they use it. So now we have a new strategy, new tactic that they use against the farmers in the village, especially after our succeed. That's, we know, you know, we succeed after 2.5 years of our struggle. 4th of September 2007, we had a decision from the Israeli High Court to move the wall back 500 meters. and it was the first succeed for the struggle and a big victory for a small village. As the first time they demolish part of the wall and move it back 500 meters. So we have 1,200 dunums back to the farmers. They can use it now, but also the same time they're using a lot of violence against these farmers who try to plant or new trees, for example, because when we went back to this land, we find it that's been destroyed. Most of the olive trees being stolen by the companies who was working there. Also to make business, they was taking the olive trees, they was selling it inside of Israel, inside of the cities, inside of the settlements for a garden, between $1,000 to $3,000 for one olive tree. And if you go there, you can see that's 3,000-year-old olive tree in a garden, in a settlement. It's our olive tree that's been stolen by these companies who was working also in that. So we try to plant new olive trees. We try to help the farmers to get back to the land, to fix it, to start working in the land. And they're starting to build like a rooms, we called it a farmer room, to be in the day there, to be with the family, to plant vegetables, trees, grapes, anything that a farmer use. But 3 months ago, they started a new strategy against these farmers. We have 40 orders from the court, Israeli court, to demolish in this part of the land. They demolish 6 houses until now, 6 rooms for the farmers, and they continue to do it. That we have 40. We build also a garden for our children to go there and to play. We get an order to demolish this garden.
More of his talk next week, including his account of a terrible injury done by the Israeli army to one of his sons. That's our program for today. 2016 has been a very, very rough year. Let's hope 2017 is better. This is Stanley Heller for The Struggle.